My name is Mike Reed. I'm from Gordon, Texas. I've been working with UIL for over 10 years on trying to change the form that is online that gets sent out to the entire state of Texas over the hurdle distances that's recommended for junior high. One of the things that you'll see as we kind of go through this on the form that's sent out is the recommendations that are modified for all junior high athletes is going to be in the shot put and discus. The shot puts are smaller for junior high. The high jump, the discus is smaller for junior high. The pole vault has different pole lengths and heights. The long jump boards vary from different closeness to the pits. The triple jumps have different distances from where they go from in order to get into the pit. And the high jump bar goes up and down. But you can see right now the distance that they use for hurdles right now that is on the form is the exact same distance that the Olympic hurdler has to hurdle at, which is 9.14 meters. So for those of you that don't know, that would just be the blue marks that are on the track. But the same distance for the NCAA champion is at the same distance. The same distance for your 6A through 1A high school state champion is at that exact same distance. And it is the exact same distance for a 7th and 8th grader to be able to 3 steps between these hurdles. Now what's happened is in our youth organizations such as AAU, USA Track and Field, and TAF, the young hurdlers hurdle at this distance that is a reduced distance for their age. But when a junior high kid gets into junior high, they jump at this distance. Okay, what I want to show here real quickly is the distance of the summer track and youth hurdle development for kids to get their 3-step rhythm. Right now you have a 12-year-old, you have an 11-year-old, and you have a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old. These are the hurdle distances that and heights that they use in the youth organizations. Okay? Then what's being asked is to jump from that 3-step rhythm distance that these guys have spent 4 years developing. We're being asked on this form to jump from their 3-step rhythm to this race height. So a 7th grader is being asked to go the same distance as the Olympic, NCAA champion, and high school champion. An 8th grader is being asked to 3-step the same distance. Okay? Your freshmen are being able to ask to 3-step this same distance. Your high school is able to do the same thing. Into your college athletes, they're all being asked a 3-step rhythm. What I'm suggesting and trying to do is I want to bridge that gap between what's happening in the youth organizations into the 7th grade. Now what's happening is a lot of schools are already doing this. This is not a new recipe that I've come up with. A lot of your schools have been co-oping their track meets and keeping everything within it, and so at their district track meet, they are actually bridging the gap between this distance. Let's go ahead and grab the hurdles. All right, and so I want to show you the gap distance that I want to be able to bridge in between here. Again, this is not a new, this is not something that's new, it's just not on this form. So a lot of the schools that are making it to the state track meet and having a lot of hurdle successes have been doing this. But what's happening, because it's not on the form, schools are using the recommended distance, which is the distance of 9.14 meters, and not bridging this gap. But what happens is people that want to bridge the gap, they may do it at their invitational meet, but when they travel and go somewhere else, well, because it's not on the form, they're not able to bridge that gap. So what my recommendation is that we run junior high boys and junior high girls and run them in the 100-meter hurdles. Okay, now we're going to look at just boys here real quick, but the boys, I want to run them on the girl marks. So you don't have to remark your track or do anything. I just want to run them at the proposed distance of 7th grade right here. 7th grade slide up to here. 7th grade slides up to here, and they run at this distance. Okay, then we're going to slide 8th grade up to run at this distance. So now we have a nice progressionary distance from what's happening in there and bridging the gap to build better hurdlers. So I want to go ahead and show, pole vault is is something where they use different size poles and different size lengths to help change the distances for the body types and speeds of kids. Then we come over here to the discus, and now you can see this is a high school distance, and this is what's recommended on the form for junior high discus to use. Then you have the same thing for shot put. You know, the shot put's going to go ahead and have, this is the high school shot put, and then this is what's on the form recommended for junior high to be able to use. The triple jump is the same way. It has the different boards to the pit. Long jump have different boards for the distances that kid needs to, and then the high jump bar obviously goes up and down. But right now we're looking at the hurdles and how the hurdles have no adjustment for kids' age and development at this point. Now the thing is that a lot of people don't know is there's nothing preventing you from doing it. Everybody can do this in their meets. You know, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know, this isn't a secret recipe, but what's happening is because it's not on the form, because that form says, hey, we're going at 9.14 meters distance, we're going at that distance from 7th grade to seniors, that's on the form. That's just what everybody does. I just want there to be on the form to go ahead and show, hey, here's the recommended distances to modify the junior high hurdles for the kids in their age appropriate development, which is going to be the 100 meters for boys at 8.5 meters. So that would be on the yellow marks, the girl marks, what high school girls run on, and then progress that distance and height up as they get older. Then girls, they're going to go at 8 meters. So there's a YouTube video, and I can put that in the comments. And I'll link that in there, that shows you how to mark for the junior high girls, and they're going to go at 8 meters is what they're going to go ahead and run at, which is it'll be the same distance from the starting line to the first hurdle. Nothing has to change. The starting line's the same for everybody, and the finish line's the same for everybody at 100 meters. But then after the first hurdle, you'll measure out to the second hurdle at 8 meters and just put a piece of tape down on the side of the track for the junior high girls. All right, so this is our youth hurdlers, and this is in all organizations that they've been doing, from TAF to USA Track and Field to AAU, is this distance to here. Okay, go ahead and walk. All right, so he's just going to show you that this is kind of the distance in here for all youth. This is 10-year-olds, 11, and 12-year-olds that progress to here. Then you have your 7th grade, so this is what we're showing from 7th grade. Now the distance that we're trying to bridge this gap, that's going to be right there for 7th graders at 8.5 meters. Then this is 8th graders progressing up to 8.5 meters again, but the height's going to come up just a little bit more for the 8th graders, into a freshman boy all the way to a senior boy of the distance of 9.14 meters, which is the recommended distance for junior high hurdlers that we want to change the form and do away with, and get it recommended to 8.5 meters for boys and 8 meters for girls. So right now, the UIL recommended form that's for junior high this is what's a printable form that's on there. And so what it does is when you get this is what it shows you that you should be doing for shot put, for discus. The 3,200, the 2 mile, is reduced down to 2,400. And it also has the modifications for those implements and changes that need to be able to be done. And so with that, it has the distance of 9.14 meters, which is the Olympic hurdler distance, the NCAA champion distance, the high school distance, for 7th and 8th graders to be able to try to 3-step rhythm that same distance. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to update that form. I'm just asking that we can take that same form and just go ahead and put in there, hey, it already says you may reduce the distance, just letting people know that the distance can be reduced. But I also want to just go ahead and add in there, well, what is that? For the people that don't necessarily know the science behind the hurdles, here is, if you want to go ahead and do it, this is what the distance is. And I think it's important right now that Texas High School Coaches Association, Texas Track and Field Coaches Association, and the 6-Man Coaches Association get in line with UIL and work on getting this changed. I think one of the things that's important in making sure that we're setting up our kids for success is we use junior high footballs. We don't use the high school football. We adjust the pitching mound as kids age development from the mound to the plate. We use smaller basketballs for youth development. We also sit there and crank down the goals to 8 foot and progress them up to 10 foot. Right now, the only event in track and field right now that has no adjustments or modifications for it for the age development of boys and girls is in the 100 hurdles and the 110 hurdles. And I just would really appreciate it if you would take the time to vote and get a hold of the people that are on the track advisory committee and the schools and help get this form changed so that across the state of Texas every coach has the same opportunity and the same knowledge to be successful. Not just the ones that are set up able to co-opt their things together, but from small school to big school, that we can be unified and make an impactful change and give kids the appropriate development for the hurdles where they can be successful in three-stepping at a young age and not take these years off of development because they're being asked to three-step hurdle the same distance as the Olympic champion, NCAA champion, and high school state champion.